Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the unofficial Beausejour Senior Hockey League podcast YouTube channel. Today, we've got a very special episode. We have an interview with Hawks defenseman, Memorial Cup champion, great guy, Trey Lewis. Here with me today, I have my co-host, Corey.
The one and only.
The one and only. So We had a great interview with Trey Lewis. It was very fun to do.
It was exciting. He gave us almost a half hour. It was eye-opening. He gave us a lot of answers. Left us in the dark with a few things, but that's fine. Answers will be answered more as the season goes, I guess.
Absolutely. So we're going to throw to that interview with Trey, and we'll be back after the interview. Welcome back to the BSHL podcast. I'm here today with my co-host, Corey. And we have a special guest with us today, Trey Lewis from the Elsipogtog Hawks.
Right on. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Right on, man.
Thank you for being with us.
So this is the BSHL podcast. We're pretty open with the fact that we're both Hawks fans.
Yeah.
We love the league. We love the league, and we want to see it grow. We want to give it a little bit of an outlet. Maybe a podcast might help, but we're Hawks fans at heart. What are we going to say?
Well, there you go. I mean, I can't blame you guys for that. I mean, I'm a Hawks fan myself. But no,
and you also want to see the BSHL grow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we had an awesome year last year. We had a fun year the year that COVID shut us down, and then it shut us down for 2 years after that, or at least one full season. So last year was awesome to get the league back going, and the crowds were crazy, and I had a blast.
We had a blast in the crowd too, trust me. All right, So we'll start it off. Hockey kind of brought you around the world, Trey. You played junior in Halifax. University, went to UNB. You spent some time in Halifax for university as well, right?
St. FX. So it's in Nova Scotia, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So St. FX for a couple of years, and then you went and finished up in UNB. You went to England, played pro. What's it mean to you to play at home in front of your friends and family in Elsie?
It means a lot. I mean, I think I'm a homebody. I remember when I was like 16 and first went to Moosehead's camp, I was almost relieved to get cut at 16 just because it seemed like a lot to move away. And, I've always loved being close to home and being gone for so long between, my few years in Halifax. And then for university, I was in St. FX in Antigonish. That was one of the big reasons why I came back to UNB, just because it was close to home. I had all my friends here, my family, my grandparents are getting older. I got my girlfriend, right? Like, I think I've always been a homebody. And even now, like I live like 3 minutes from my grandparents' house in St. Charles. And I love it around here. It's so quiet and easy going. I'm definitely not a city boy, but it means the world that I can work here, I can live here, and I get to play some pretty fun hockey on the weekends here too.
It's a pretty good community around here.
Yeah, pretty easy going, pretty laid back.
So, last season, who would you say the Hawks' biggest rival was?
Well, I mean, we've always had a great rivalry with Bucktouche. I mean, I think it's maybe because we've played against them for longer. There was a lot of new teams last year. But of course, Miramichi is a big rival. Those games were always intense. Those games were always a lot of chirping. The crowds were into it. It was a lot chippier than our rivalry against Bucktouche. So that turned out to be a pretty big rivalry. But I would say Miramichi or Bucktouche for sure.
Yeah, Nick Foran and Miramichi really, the guy can play, and yeah, he's chippy. He's fun to play against, I'm sure.
They're all fun games to watch. We've seen most of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, those are the ones, some guys might shy away from those games, but those are the ones that I kind of circle on the calendar. I love being in that type of hockey game where the crowd's into it and, you hate each other on the ice. I never have any hate in my heart after the game, but it brings out better hockey in me for some reason when the games are intense and there's a lot's on the line, or it feels like a lot's on the line.
That's fair. The support from this region, especially in the playoffs, was absolutely wild. I have never seen an arena anywhere go from a couple Hawks hoodies to you couldn't walk 2 feet without seeing a hoodie, a toque, a hat at the co-op, at Tim Hortons, everywhere. There's Hawks gear everywhere. That must be pretty special.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I still can't get over, that there was a lineup outside the rink in Rishabakto on that game 7 against Bucktouche at about 2, 3 in the afternoon, and game time wasn't till 5:30 or 6, whatever it was. That's pretty mind blowing for senior hockey, and it just shows that the support we've got around here is just incredible.
I think as one of the people that was outside at 3 o'clock before that game, the community feeling, right? Just having a blast with people that after COVID, it's just nice to be around people. We made the trip to that Spring Hill game where you guys eliminated them, and went to the convenience store, like a Shell, a minute from the arena, and we ran into like 3 Hawks fans and had like a mini celebration, had some electric powwow drum playing, like legitimate celebration in a gas station parking lot in Spring Hill.
That's awesome. And like you said, the support has been everywhere. And to hear people talking about it when you go to the store or you go to Tim Hortons, right, to have people asking about it, it's pretty special for senior hockey in New Brunswick, right? We're a small province, small town, and it means the world to us, that it means the world to the fans, right? I think it's so special.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
Really
pretty
is.
Special league.
So, Trey, last season was a pretty big season. Some key players might not be back. We saw the signings on Facebook and on social media. Who should the fans be excited to see this season in the Hawks?
Well, I mean, I love our team. I think our team is so deep. I say it how we have stellar defensemen. Of course, we're kind of waiting to announce that some of our big guys are back, but of course I've been getting a million questions about Danik Kret. I mean, he's just incredible for a defenseman to come into this league and lead the league in points. From the blue line, it's that's pretty incredible. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's senior hockey or not. To do something like that's pretty special, especially with all the highly skilled forwards we've got in this league, right? For him to still put up more points than them is pretty crazy. Robbie Graham's going to be back. He won the league MVP last year. I think that was well deserved. He had over 2 points a game. He had a higher points per game than Danik Kret. I truly believe that Robbie Graham's the best player in the league. And I mean, we've got a goal scorer coming back in Mackenzie Brown. That guy's just been lights out for us, right? He had a goal a game last year, 20 games and 20 goals. That's a tough feat. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, what league you're playing in, to put up a goal a game with that's pretty special.
I'm very excited that you said Mackenzie Brown's coming back.
I was going to say, before this started, Corey was like, should I ask him about Mac Brown?
Oh yeah, Mac Brown's back. I mean, we'd be hurting. I think that's a huge loss if he's not back. But no, Brownie's back. He's been on the ice. He's been working out. He loves the gym, so he's in shape. I mean, I wish I could say the same for myself. It usually takes a few games, couple weekends into the season before I start to feel normal again. But no, Brown's back. I think the fans are really going to like our import this year in Tyler Brown. I played with him for a year in Miramichi and the Timberwolves when I went back at 20 years old. And that guy's built for senior hockey, I think. I mean, he can skate and he hits like a truck. That's one of the hardest hitting guys I've ever seen. And, when I played with him, we were pretty good in Miramichi that year. But, and so he was like a third line guy. And then the next 2 years after that, he moved up and he was still smoking guys, but he was a top line guy. So I think he's built perfect for senior hockey and for Hawks hockey for sure. That
Timberwolves team you were on that year was really fun to watch, man. You guys had some talent.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of blew it there come playoff time, but that was definitely a stacked junior A team for sure.
It's got to be a lot of fun to bring back those guys you played with growing up. Now that you're all adults and can do that.
Yeah, I mean, that was really special to come back to Miramichi that 20 year and play with all those guys that I played midget hockey with, right? I mean, it was me and Tyrone Sock were playing together again. He's been my D partner since I was, 8 years old, something like that. And the same thing to have him play with the Hawks. to play with those guys I grew up with is just makes it so much funner. And I really think that's one of the best parts of having the Hawks group, is that it's so many guys that are just good friends off the ice, and being in the dressing room before and after the game seems to be the best part. I think that's becoming my favorite part, just shooting the shit and having a blast in the dressing room with the guys.
I think it transcends. It comes off the ice. You can tell you
Absolutely.
guys are having fun out there. So it makes it more fun to watch for us.
For sure. And like you said, it's that's one of the most special parts, playing with guys that you're great friends with.
So I was at the intra squad game this weekend, and man, that goalie mask is sexy. I've got to say.
Yeah. So we signed a guy who actually did play some. He played some minor hockey in Kent Center. Mario Babino. He's a few years older than me, but he had taken a couple years off. He played with the JCs actually a couple years back, maybe the COVID year, something like that. But he's a big boy, and he got some new gear to match and stuff, and he had requested that to get that mask painted the way it was, and we got a local guy that did that. Huge favor from him. I mean, we really appreciate it because, like you said, it looks good. I mean,
it's really good.
It looks phenomenal. So the BSHL regained some stability last year. Best leagues looked in years. Now we're seeing some league rule changes. We're seeing some imports. I think it's 2 imports as long as one of them is a goalie. That's the rule, right?
Yeah, and so we can have one player that's an import anywhere from Atlantic Canada. They just can't have played AHL or NHL level, right? I mean, we still want to keep the league local. I was personally against imports. I think a lot of the teams made quick exits in playoffs. I mean, or didn't win a majority of their games, and they felt they needed to get stronger. And to be fair, the pool of players in New Brunswick can be kind of low, especially, these days, less and less kids are playing sports. So it feels like the numbers are kind of dwindling as the years go on. So I guess it makes sense. I would have preferred to just keep it local, just because I know how good, our Hawks team is for, at least another few years until the old guys like me are, start to switch over to coaching, right? I think with just our local group, we can be good for another, at least 3-4 years. And then, but then after that, maybe we'd be the teams voting for imports too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be coaching, asking for imports. It's definitely going to add a little bit of interest to the league, make it a little maybe more competitive.
For sure. I mean, we're not complaining about our import. Like I said, we're very excited to have Tyler Brown join our team. And, we've got lots of defensemen, but, we definitely need some more forwards. And to be able to get an import who wants to come play, that's huge for us. And it's definitely huge for other teams, right? If the league can get more competitive and a lot tighter, and then that's awesome. I think the league was very tightly contested last year. I mean, every game that we played against Miramichi, I think, was within a goal. There wasn't really any blowouts. We might have maybe a game against Spring Hill when they only dressed 13, 14 guys. I mean, we were there. We've been in that position too, and that's unfortunate. But there wasn't really any blowouts. I didn't think. I thought the games were really close, most of them.
A lot of the games could have, even with some of those JC's games, when you look at last year's schedule, a lot of 1-goal games in the league, and those could go either way. The Hawks went a long time without losing a game until they lost the JC's last year. But like you said, so many of them were 1-goal games. Could have gone the other way.
Yeah, exactly. And last year was pretty crazy. In years past, the Hawks are kind of the team that, we start 1-6, 1-8. And then by Christmas time, we usually get our legs under us and we kind of make a push for playoffs. So to start last year 15-0, I think was pretty insane and pretty unexpected. And it wasn't like we were completely dominating teams. We had some great games, but we were down 4-1 to Miramichi, and I think we were down 3-1 to Bucktouche at one time, and we were forced to come back. And we, out of those 15 games, at least 3 of them, I think, were overtime and shootout, right? So, Like I said, it was a lot closer than maybe some people think. Starting 15-0, it looks like, oh my God, that team must just be crazy dominant. But those games felt close. It didn't feel like we were 15-0, I guess.
Can we expect 15-0 again this year?
Oh my God, no. I mean, I don't think you could ever expect 15-0. especially in senior hockey. I mean, it's crazy that we've still managed to grind out some wins on the road where we were missing, our entire top line, stuff like that. I think that just goes to show how deep our team is and, how hard we worked. That's the biggest thing. I mean, I can't stand in competitive hockey. It's still competitive to me. I know it's senior hockey and it's not to be taken as serious, but if we're all going there and we're taking our time out of our lives, I think the easiest part you can do is try your hardest, right? That's one thing I kind of expect out of our team.
I think night in, night out, you see a lot of hustle from guys, third line guys, fourth line guys. You guys have, in my opinion, probably the most balanced team in the league. Just you can roll four lines every night and nobody looks out of place out there.
Yeah, well, that's so huge, right? To have guys that they can play their third line role, and then when we're short some bodies, they can jump up out on the top line and score big points for us. We had guys like Creighton Sanapass was just a huge addition for our team. That guy could play anywhere on the ice, and when we needed him to play top line, he did, and he didn't look out of place. He put up some points. Like guys like that, guys like Tristan Joseph, right? He can play third line, he can play first line if you need him to. Having those guys is huge.
Even bringing up some guys from the Rangers last year, we saw Fred Levi come up, Cole Augustine. They didn't look out of place on the Hawks. They were, seeing Fred play with Elijah Francis, they looked like they had some crazy chemistry out there. They played some great D.
Yeah, I kind of forgot how important those the junior guys were for us last year, especially late in the season. Yeah. We had you have to cut down to your 25 roster, and we had kept some guys on the roster that didn't end up playing at all. So we'd kind of wasted a couple of those 25 spots. But to have those affiliate players come up from junior and play huge roles for us. Fred played amazing. Cole Augustine played amazing for us. Cole Augustine was a top two line guy for most of the games that he played, and that's crazy. And he didn't look out of place at all. Even Jordan Joseph, he had a goal or two, and he played some important roles. So those guys were huge for us, and it's huge that we'll be able to affiliate, Fred and Andre Robichaud, who was the captain of the Rangers. He's going to be playing with the junior C team in Elsie. Him and Fred, I think Andre's brother. To be able to have those guys affiliate for us is going to be huge again this year.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic to see some junior C hockey in Elsie. I think it's going to be great for the community. It was my first time back in the rink last weekend since all the renos, and man, that rink it's beautiful. It's fantastic.
It's great, yeah.
It's a great time. It's cold as hell in there, though. Got to tell you, man, my feet were chilly.
That's always been the thing with the Elsie rink, I guess, and it feels warmer than it used to. So just imagine that, trying to play in there at 10 o'clock in a January night was pretty cold.
Yeah, that's fair. I remember it being a little bit colder in the past.
So Trey, I got a question here that if I don't ask, Corey's going to kill me.
Okay, yeah.
This is directly from Corey because this is a common question on this podcast. What is your favorite food to eat at a hockey rink?
At a hockey rink? Oof. I mean, you got to go poutine, right?
You got to, right?
Poutine. Not if I'm playing. Good Lord, that wouldn't go good. No, it's got to be poutine, I think.
There's this cult following for the popcorn chicken poutine in Bucktouche. I've never had it. I know I look like I eat a lot of poutine, but I'm a hot dog guy.
Hot dog guy? Okay.
Hot dog guy. But the popcorn chicken poutine, it's almost like, man, there's more popcorn chicken poutines in the rink in Bucktouche than there is Kent Seltzer hats. It's insane.
Yeah, I've never tried one either. I'm gonna have to try that. Maybe if I get a suspension, not that I ever get suspended or anything, but maybe if I get a suspension and I go to the game in Bucktouche, I'll have to try one out.
Yeah, we'll grab one together. It'll be a good time.
Perfect.
How excited are you? Season starts off pretty early on with a home and home in Bucktouche. I love your schedule. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it might have been changed. I think now our home opener is supposed to be October 15th, but there's actually an issue with the ice in Rishabukto. So I think we might have to reschedule that one. So I think the first game in Rishabukto will be October 22nd, which will be against Bucktouche, I think.
Yeah, I think you guys play against Bucktouche and then on the road in Bucktouche. So, wow, that sucks. Yeah. Sucks to find out there won't be a Hawks game that opening weekend.
I know. It's I mean, as a player, I'm not all that upset. I would have loved to start, but it gives me another week to try to get on the ice and get my legs back, I guess. And if we can't start our season in Elsie, I didn't want to reschedule in Rishabukto, I didn't want to reschedule that game to play in Bucktouche or play in Elsie. Like I want our first game, our home opener, to be in Rishabukto for sure. So.
That's fair. It's a good thought. I think it's just going to be a pretty loud rink that night, I'm sure.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, our crowds have been awesome all year last year. Like we didn't really have a bad crowd at all, and that's incredible. I think, especially for senior hockey, and we had 22 games, so we had 11 home games. That's quite a long season for senior hockey. So for the fans to show support for all those games is awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty big league. League spread out a lot. You got a team in Dalhousie, team in Spring Hill. How, with all the commitments that the guys have, everybody's got jobs and families and lives. How do you make that work? It's got to be tough.
It's definitely tough. I played quite a few games. I think every game that besides suspensions. So I'm lucky in that sense. It'll probably be a little different this year. I've got twin girls being ready to be born any day now. So that's going to probably cut into my thank you. Yeah, it's going to cut into my hockey time, I think, for a bit. But what's great about this league is the furthest game is maybe Shippagan, Dalhousie, something like that. And that'd be, 2.5, maybe a 3-hour drive. Before this league was up and running again, I was playing senior hockey in Kedgwick. And, I love playing hockey no matter what, but it's a 4-hour drive for the closest game. And then I got to stay overnight. And, then you're playing on a Sunday, and then you have another 4-hour drive home, and you're working on Monday morning. So this league, where you're only traveling to those Shippagan, Trackety, Dalhousie, we only go up there once, and they only come down here once, right? I think that's such a great format. And, every team can play one of those road games at least once. I would think.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it's one weekend, right? You go up to Shippagan once, you go up to Dalhousie once, you go up to Trackety once. So that's awesome, right? I can make a 3-hour road trip once a winter. That's not too bad, right?
Yeah, especially when you're in your car with 4 of your buddies. Really, I mean, you're playing with your friends. So
yeah, it's a blast. I love senior hockey. I'll play till I can't.
I appreciate that as a fan. I hope you do.
So last season was a really big season for you guys, South Division champions. What's the goal, the realistic goal for the Hawks this season?
I think we should win the league. I mean, it's pretty crazy to sit here and say that's our goal. Our goal is to win the league. But I just believe in our team. I think I think our team is so deep, and if anything, it's better than it was last year with our import, and we got a new defenseman in Jeremy Hebert, and Andy Joseph's coming back. And we've got the team to do it. It's just a matter of how we play and staying out of the box. I think that's kind of our it's no mystery. That's probably our biggest goal for the season is to stay out of the box. And if we stay out of the box, I really think we can beat any team.
Awesome.
We are usually trying to be unbiased, but with me and Corey, we're obviously biased for the Hawks, and we believe that you guys can do it too.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've got the team to do it. It's just a matter of going out there and earning it, right?
Absolutely, staying healthy.
Yeah, for sure. Staying healthy is huge too, right? I mean, 1 or 2 injuries that can really deflate a team, especially if it's top end guys. We're deep, but my God, I don't know what we do if Robbie Graham went down or Mackenzie Brown went down.
Yeah.
But it was good sign, I guess, last season that Robbie Graham did get hurt in playoffs, and so was Mac Brown actually at one point, and we still managed to battle through those. Mac Brown came back for the last game or two, which was such a huge boost, not even just for skill wise, but just for morale and stuff, to have him back in the lineup. It goes a long way. So it was comforting to know that we can still win with big guys out, because we did it last year. But like you said, we want to avoid injuries at all costs, because just a couple can really deflate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on. Well, I think that's about all we have for tonight. So Trey, thank you very much for your time. We sure do appreciate you.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me. It was a blast.
I'm sure we'll have you back on as the season goes on. We'll get
Absolutely.
a couple little, I want to hear a couple road stories. Let's have some fun.
There you go. Okay, perfect.
Hope everything goes well with the twins. I'm sure it will, and you'll be a great dad. I'm very proud of you, man. Good for you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a great day, guys. All right, Corey, we just heard the Trey Lewis interview. Let's discuss that interview now.
Sure.
What were your thoughts?
This team looks stacked again. He's pretty much confirmed everybody except for Danik Crate. That one's still up in the air. He confirmed Mackenzie Brown is coming back. Robbie Graham will be there. The team really looks almost identical. Added players, Tyler Brown is coming. Jeremy Hebert is coming. Honestly, he gave us a fantastic interview.
Mentioned that goalie mask and that goalie, Mario Babino. Mario Babino is going to be an import goalie for the Hawks. I think Hawks fans have lots of reasons to be excited for this season.
Absolutely. It should be an amazing season.
Absolutely, I agree with you. We're going to have another episode coming up here on YouTube shortly, and that's going to be a Hawks season preview with our friend Joel Gallant. So be sure to Jolteon Plays on YouTube. Be sure to check out that episode. We had a lot of fun recording that, and hopefully you guys enjoy listening to it. But that's about all that we have for this episode on YouTube. And, again, thank you to Trey Lewis for giving us his time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Trey. Can't wait to see you playing next couple of weeks.
Yes. Oh, that was the other thing that was announced during that interview was potentially delay of the Hawks season opener in Elsipogtog.
That's right. I don't remember the reasons he gave. I don't think he gave us a reason, right?
Something about the ice issues in Elsipogtog, but that's okay. We'll see the Hawks open up the season just a short week later in Spring Hill. Can't wait for that one. And then the following night, Bucktouche in Elsipogtog against the Elsipogtog Hawks. Going to be a blast.
The classic rivalry.
Classic rivalry. Corey, it's always a pleasure. We'll be back very soon.
I do.
All right. Thanks, everyone, and see you soon.
Take care.